Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today we're going to do update 17, and let me turn the camera around and I will show you why. Well, as you can see, we don't have the mini split in, and we don't have the final inspection on the electrical. But I decided, let me back up here, that shouldn't stop me from buying lumber and getting my table saw out here and my chop saw and actually start building some bench work. Now all these pieces of L girder that I have here are pieces rescued from the other layout. And as you can see, I have my trusty laser going over here, and I have leveled it all along. This leg is right now temporary. I have it, of course I have it screwed all along the back wall over to about, I think it's 28 inches or so to that other wall. That will be a different section that goes all the way across the back, okay? Given that, it will only take a couple of legs. If I screw that one all the way across the back, and then put my 2 foot, this is going to be 2 foot wide, and I make my new piece all the way down there, and attach it into the one that's attached to that wall over there, that'll kind of make an H structure, or not an H structure, a C structure out of it, and probably support it pretty well. I'll have to wait and see how many legs I need on it, but I did go get the lumber that I think I need today to do all of the L girder. And I'll show you later on. I've got all the video clips from before, which I'll show you after. But this is my little setup, my little test piece with L girders and using 3-inch foam. And if the bottom of these L girders right here is 37 inches off the floor, and if I put, hold on one second, I don't have enough. As everybody, all of us YouTubers need about 7 hands. Anyway, this is all loosely put together. But as you can see here, if I put this down at L girder height, and then that stringer that's on top there is laid flat across, and you can see that foam, well, you can't see, but foam stacked 3 pieces high here equals 48 inches at this top right here. And that's where I decided I want the top of the layout to be this time. I was going to make it a little higher. I was going to make it 51. And I got to marking on the wall over here, and it's too high for me. I'm too short. So 48 inches again is what it will be. And to be able to support the lower level, if you picture this foam being lower level and me cutting it out of an 8-foot sheet into whatever shape I need it to be to support that lower level that we have discussed on the plan, I have to lay these boards here flat. Hang on one second. So let me get a halfway decent one here. This is not halfway decent. So I don't know, I won't make them 4 inches wide, but these stringers will have to be like this to support the lower level stuff. And they, like I say, they'll only be, I'm thinking about cutting the 1x4s in half to make those stringers. And then to be able to, I'll show it on the, you'll see it on the later video. But anyway, to make stringers to come out and hold the fascia, they will mount something like that. However far back I need to go to be able to support it, and they will be screwed in from this side. So anyway, you kind of get the gist of how this is going to work, I believe. I'm kind of excited simply because I have some wood on the wall. And when they do the final inspection, they're just going to have to work around it. That's all there is to it. I'm tired of waiting around. Anyway, I'm going to turn my laser off. It's getting too hot in here. It rained earlier this evening. And hold on one second. In fact, let me get out here where it's cool. Oh my gosh, it's so much cooler out here. Anyway, you can see that my motion sensor comes on. Works like it should. You can see how bright the room is inside. Everything's hunky-dory, but I wanted to do a video of the first bit of bench work. And so there you go. Okay, gang. We have electricity. The lights are all tied in. The wall plug is working. We have moonlight. And we have a breaker box. And they also, there's a wire that went out the back of the shed back there, and they put that in a weatherproof box and did not connect it here in the breaker box until the guy comes out to install a mini split. But this is how bright the room is with the lights exactly where they go, and I think it is more than sufficient. If I change my mind, I could always add something, but I think it's perfect. So anyway, this will be on the next video. Okay, gang, I'm just out here goofing around today, and this is just a proof of concept piece for the way I plan to do the lower track. So 2-inch foam on top with the track on it, going down at a 2% incline on level 1-inch track with Woodland Scenics risers glued to it until it gets down to the 4 inches. And from this point right up here to this point here is 4 inches. And you can still see that I have plenty of room to get in there, and I can also do what I did before and angle this back, okay? So that's the little piece I made to see how the levels will work. And by the way, back here in the back where the track will be, the lower track will be, as it's going down and up, there won't be any 2-inch foam over the top of it. There will only be 2-inch foam over the top of it where it is all the way underneath at 4 inches. If that makes any sense. But this is how it will work. And I think this will work. The way I got around not having to have 6-inch risers, 6-inch high risers, is to make them that an L, the risers an L girder as well. Now what that means is I'll have to make L girder risers all the way around the layout. But I don't see that as a problem. It's a lot of sawing, gluing, and screwing, but you know, it is what it is, and that's just the way I intend to do it. So anyway, we'll see if there's any modification to this plan when I get that far. I'm still waiting on the air conditioner and so forth, so I'm just out here goofing. Okay, you guys saw the first video where I made that mock-up there, which would show how the lower track and the upper track would be built. Then I came up with this idea of doing 2-inch on the bottom, a 2-inch block. These blocks would be placed all around and hold up the upper level, and they would be made out of the scraps that you cut out. It's looking like this is going to be very expensive, but it looks to me like it's an easier way. It's not put together extremely well here, but I think you'll get the gist of it. Let me see if I can stand this up. Hang on a minute. Okay, if I just kind of lean this back against the wall, you can see that we have the same L girders that would make up a frame. Then we have a laying flat. This is just a piece of 1x4, but I would probably use 1x2s between the front and the back at certain intervals, maybe 16 inches or so. Then on top of that, you would have the lower level foam that would be down 4 inches. 2 here, down 4 inches. Then I would put my Woodland Scenics risers on that to get up at the end where I need to be. Then pieces of scrap would be glued down with foam tack around where you needed to support the upper level, which could be cut out to whatever the shape of the landform is above the lower level. Then where I needed to come out to the edge to put on fascia, this would be the method. I would put a stringer, this has only got 1 screw in each one, but you'd put a couple of screws in here to your 2x2 or 1x2 or 1x4, whatever I use. You'd put a couple of screws in there just as a screwing anchor. Then you would raise your 1x4 up and down, whatever length you needed it to be, and you would attach it in 1 or 2 places where we needed to attach it that your 4-inch upper foam would sit on. And to me, this is the most logical way. It's not the most economical way. This way over here relies on cutting each one of the stringers, and they have to be precisely cut. And I'm not sure that that's a good idea. It's easier with this method in that I can raise the stringer, this stringer up and down to suit what I need to hold the upper level and make the upper level level. So this was thought 1, and this was thought 2. Now, the only thing is, this would probably be about 20% cheaper just because of the materials being used. I don't know if the lumber would be more expensive or less expensive than the foam. What I can tell you is the stinking foam is now $65 a sheet. So it would take me about $500 and some to buy 8 sheets, which I guess is just an expense that you're only going to have to make once. So let me get up and I'll show you something else as far as my height, layout height. Okay, I don't know if we can see it on the camera. I guess we can see it on the camera. This is 48 inches. This is 51 inches. I talked about doing 51 inches, but as I'm standing here, this is only about 6 inches below my eye level. I think it's too high. I think I'm going to go back to the same thing I had, which was about between 45 and 48, which is about here. Here's 48. Now, let me pose this to you, and I don't know what the best way is to put this, but this essentially, if I don't have enough hands, if this is the 48, oh shoot, if this is the 48-inch height, and if I try, and this thing is so poorly put together, but if I try and hold this up here at what would be level at about 48 inches, that puts my bottom stringer, as you can see, if this is 48 inches at this level I'm looking level at right here, and you go down here, that would put that at approximately here, which I believe is 36 inches. I don't know if you can see that mark there, 36 inches. So if I back up, 36 inches is what I would have to the bottom of the L girder to be able to slide things under the layout. So what I have to do tonight is I have to go down and see how tall my bookcase is, see how tall my train cabinets are, and all of the other things that I need to slide under the layout. If 36 inches is enough to do the job, the layout's going to be 48 inches high. If it's not, it'll be taller than that. But it'll be the minimum of the tallness that it needs to be to get the stuff under there. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. Two different methods of doing the same thing here. I hope that the little models make sense to you. I'm trying to make sense of it in my head. So anyways, there we go. Well, gang, it's kind of dark in here, and I think that my Sony Handycam finally took a dump. So I will have to end this. Hopefully I'm in the picture, and as usual, thanks for watching.